Welcome to video lesson 9.4 on choosing a data display. We're going to be looking at choosing and constructing appropriate data displays and mainly explaining why we're choosing the display we are. These are all the different types of data displays. So this is going to be the most important page of this whole section. Okay, you're going to want to know the information on here. A pictograph shows data using pictures. Okay, so it's helpful if you want your data using pictures, but it is only helpful as long as the pictures that are shown are all the same size. Okay. A bar graph shows data in specific categories, so if you have information broken down into different categories, a bar graph will be your best type of display. A circle graph shows data as parts of a whole. So if you're surveying a whole class and you want to know what percentage are involved in different activities, that might be a good thing if you're doing a whole class. So you're showing data as parts of a whole, a circle graph is helpful. A line graph shows you how data changes over time. So if you're looking at how information changes over time, a line graph will be very useful. A histogram shows you frequencies of data values and intervals of the same size. So that is also very important. We do not want some of the bars to be larger than the others. A stem and leaf plot gives you numerical data that is ordered and shows how they are distributed. Right? A box and whisker plot shows you how the data is related. So inside the box is where most of the values occur. Okay, and you can see how the data is spread out. So if you want to determine that, the box and whisker plot is helpful. A dot plot shows the number of times each value occurs in a data set. So if you want to see like the mode of something, a dot plot is helpful for that. And a scatter plot shows the relationship between two data sets by using ordered pairs in a coordinate plane. So if you have two different data sets that you're trying to show and show a relationship between them, then a scatter plot is what you would like to use. All right, for number 1, it says to choose an appropriate data display for the situation, and we have to explain our reasoning. Okay, so we want to know which of those data displays that I just talked about would be best represented for this example. The number of students in a marching band each year. So we want to show the number of students, how that changed in the marching band each year. Right? Since we're showing changes over time, a line graph would be our best type of data display. All right. Then we have another example. What type of data display would be best to show a comparison of people's shoe size and their heights? Okay, well, we're dealing with two different types of data here. So a scatter plot will be an appropriate display because we're comparing two different data sets. Now in example 2, it says you record the number of hits for your school's new website for 5 months, And we want to tell whether the data display is appropriate for representing how the number of hits changes during the 5 months. So we're trying to show how the number of hits change over the 5 months. Here we have a bar graph, all right? And it's showing us the hits per month, and we can see with this bar graph how that's changing. Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this box here, hopefully. And the bar graph shows the number of hits each month, so it would be an appropriate data display. Okay. B is a histogram. Now, this histogram shows us ranges of the data, but that doesn't help us to see the changes over time. Okay, so if I can get this out of our way here. Sorry about that. Since it doesn't show us the number of hits each month or how the data changes over time, it would not be an appropriate display method. And part C is a line graph, which the main definition of a line graph is a graph showing changes over time. And it does show us that, so this would be an appropriate, oops, there we go. It would be an appropriate data display. All right, and example 3 is asking us which line graph would be misleading. Okay, so we have both are titled box office revenue. Both of the revenue on the vertical axis is telling us in billions of dollars. Okay, and the years are all the same. But if we look at the scale of the billions of dollars, in the left one, it has a break in the scale, and it first starts at 8. Okay. However, the right one doesn't have a break. It's totally straight the whole while, and it starts at 0 and it goes up by $2 billion. Okay. So given all that information, because of the break here, and it's starting at 8, that actually makes the line graph appear that we're increasing a lot from 2009, or from 2005 to 2009. It shows a greater increase than when we look at the same information over here. Okay. Because they did the scale of only 1 and they had a break in the graph. So it's more honest and shows that the total revenue has increased more slowly if we look at the one on the right. So the one that is misleading would be this one here on the left. That one is misleading, okay, because of the break in the graph. So that's one thing you can look for when it asks you if it's misleading. If it has a break in the graph, it probably is going to be misleading. Other ways that they will show graphs misleading will be if it's a bar graph, some of the bars might be different sizes. Okay, and in a pictogram, some of the pictures may be different sizes. All right, so we have example 4. A volunteer concludes that the number of cans of food and boxes of food donated were about the same. Is this conclusion accurate? If we look at this pictograph, okay, we have cans of food. Each can is 20 cans. Each box is 20 boxes, and each bottle is 20 bottles. But if we look at this, the boxes, one box takes up about the same amount of space as one can. So while they look like they might be the same based on this, they really are not. So this is not accurate, okay? Because the box item is so much larger than the can icon, it looks like the number of boxes is the same, but really the number of boxes is about half of the number of the cans. So it's not accurate. Now you have a couple practice problems. You want to choose an appropriate data display for this situation for 1 and 2, and make sure you explain. So which data display would you use and why? Number 3 asks if a dot plot would be an appropriate data display for the data in example 2 when we're trying to show the changes over the 5 years. And number 4, you're going to use the company profits bar graph here and tell us why that data is misleading. All right. Please make sure you write down any questions you have. I'll be happy to help you at our next class. Thank you. Have a great day.